even your customers, and they're all in a room together. So let's say you have them all at a seminar or something, you're speaking, and you say, okay guys, I want you really quickly to write
a frustrated journalist. He graduated with
and probably all of their answers
had a couple jobs in journalism. He had a little bit of marketing experience because he was the editor, I think, of a magazine about sales and marketing. But he got kind of frustrated with journalism and ended up taking
for
a job
example,
as the
let's say you help businesses make more sales. So really what you're ultimately helping
he's kind of a newbie, not a grizzled old marketing guy or whatever. And he gets this kind of crazy harebrained idea, I guess, because he was a journalist.
If
he goes, instead of writing an ad talking about how great we are, why don't we just like give away some cool information and
could be causing
some more cool information.
Low sales
his boss is
be
a
symptom of poor conversion. It could be a symptom of
not having stuff. So they argue.
It could be a symptom of not having any traffic.
Doesn't work.
It could be a symptom of not having a good follow-up system.
So he writes this ad. They were scared
even though we had all these customers and prospects in the same room,
was like that big.
They would all really write down.
They're thinking there's no way this thing is going to work.
They wouldn't just say low sales.
They decided to
say, well, I'm not making enough money because my conversion's bad. I'm not making enough money because I don't have a list. So with that in mind, everything we need to do,
so in order to respond, people had to get home, like clip some stuff out and write a letter and send it off to the company.
Let's say you've got a guy who has no sales
over the course of the next 2 years.
He doesn't have good conversion. Well, the last
generated
literally this guy is
millions of customers, and it took that little conversion investment firm to becoming one of the largest brands in the financial services industry. That company is Merrill Lynch, and that ad is what I want to go over with you really quickly, because this is a strategy that you can use to dramatically increase the amount of usually hold towards your business, and they literally want to sell billions of dollars. Now, the ad that started it all is the ad that you see on your screen.
In fact,
the good news is this approach that I'm about to walk you through has been horribly neglected over the years, but it might work better than anything you've ever seen before. It's up to you to test it. Let me show you how to do it. So the first thing I want you to know is that you can use this in all types of different media. Back then, obviously, they didn't have the internet, but you can use this approach in email. You can use it in blog posts. You can use it in videos. You can use it as Facebook posts. And of course, you can use it as standalone articles and ads put on regular web.
So the way you do this,
now it begins with a brilliantly written headline that you could model today to increase your readership.
And on that piece
classic
of paper,
headline read
draw a horizontal
what everybody
line. So
ought
it would
to
look
know
like
about
this.
the stock
Pretty
and bond
standard issue
business.
horizontal
It's a great headline because it uses something
side
in
of this
NLP
line
that they call
represents where he is
presupposition.
now. So
It presupposes that everyone wants
he's
to know
over here
stuff
in the
about
red
the stock and
zone.
bond business.
He's got
and
low
it presupposes
sales
there's
due to
stuff
conversion.
that
So
you don't
the
know,
right-hand
which of course makes
side,
you
which
want
is
to know
the green
it. So how could you
circle,
model it?
that
Well,
represents where he
couple of
wants to
examples.
be. So
What
in this
every
case,
woman
he wants to be
over 40
making
ought
more
to know about
sales
getting
due
fit.
to better
What every
conversion.
newly divorced father
So
ought to know about online
what he basically
dating.
needs
It
to
goes
do is
on and
go
on and on, right?
from
Now, you
point
and I
A
have the
here
ability to
to
reach
point B,
tiny
right? He
segments
needs to
of
go from
specific
red
niche
to
markets,
green.
so we can really
just
customize
like
that
any
approach.
journey,
But here's where it begins to get really, really powerful, where your competition, and where everyone else is trying to pretend like they don't want to sell anything or whatever.
Anytime we
This
go on a
ad
journey,
immediately makes
from red
two
to green,
damaging
point A to
admissions.
point
So
B.
have a look below the
There's a
headline.
series of
The
things
first
that
little
we
blurb
have
you're going
to
to see
do
there is
in
a subhead
order
that says some plain
to
talk
get to
about a
the other
simple
side.
business that
So
often
if
sounds
point
complicated.
A,
The next thing you're going to
over
see
here,
is
the
that
red
big
part
box that says
represents
why
not
we're
having the
publishing this
result,
information.
and point
Here's why
B,
that
the
was
green
brilliant
part
and that
represents
approach
having
is
the result.
absolutely
We
priceless
know
and that
that
should
no matter
be
what
modeled
the
by you
result is,
so you can
there are
increase
going to be
your
a
trust in your
series of
marketplace and
things we
ultimately
have to
your
do
sales.
in
You see what
order,
those two little
usually,
pieces of the ad
in order to
did
get that
is they
result,
addressed
right? So
reader
what I want you to do
skepticism.
on your piece of
Listen,
paper,
nobody
is sort of
likes
mark these down.
right? I mean, no one believes us. There was a book out there that was called All Marketers Are Liars, for God's sake. It was written by a marketer. So what do you think? Naturally, anyone who reads anything, especially online, is going to be skeptical.
Right? So in order for him to go
dumb
from
marketer
point A to point B,
ignores it,
red to
kind of
green,
like
he's
a
got to
dumb
do
traveler
all the
would
things in this right
ignore the
sequence
current in a
that are
raging river
represented
and then
by
just
these
step
little
in,
lines.
hoping
So
that everything
for
is going to be
example,
okay. The
all right,
smart
let's
marketer
say that we're
acknowledges
talking to
the
this person about
skepticism,
conversion.
admits
Over here, he's
anything
on the right-hand
damaging
side,
that
he's
the
got
reader
bad
might need
conversion,
to
he
know
wants to
about,
get-
and then just
I'm
allows
sorry, over here on the
metaphorically
left-hand
that river
side, he's
to
got
take
bad
its natural
conversion.
course.
He wants to get
So,
to the right-hand side.
in the
and
language
green
using this
zone
thing,
with good
the
conversion.
reader,
Well, there's
skepticism
five
number
things that
one
we
is
can
going to be
help
like,
him
wait a
with,
minute,
right?
I always
And
thought
we really want
stocks
to help
and
him
stuff were
in this
confusing.
order. So let's say we're
First thing
going
they
to
say
say,
right
all right,
there
Mr.
under the
Prospect,
headline
we're going
is,
to help you
this is a
increase
simple
conversion
business that
and teach you how to
often
write
sounds
good sales
confusing,
letters.
thus
The first thing we're
acknowledging
going
that
to teach him how to
skepticism.
do
Second
is how
thing
to
they
write a
do
good
is
headline,
they
right?
acknowledge
Gotta have a
the
good headline. Second thing we're going to
undoubtable
teach him to do
voice in the
is
reader's
how to
mind,
write
which
a
is why are they
subhead,
publishing this
thing
information.
underneath the
If they
headline that
didn't
sort of
acknowledge
sells
these
them
two
on
pieces
reading
of
the rest of the
skepticism,
letter. Then
the
we're going to
reader's
teach him how to
mind
write a
would
good
scream
opening,
so
right? That's
loudly,
the part of the
why,
letter that says something
what
like,
about
if
my
you've ever wanted to
skepticism?
lose
That even if they
10,000
read the rest of the
35 seconds, this is
ad,
the most
they
important
wouldn't
letter
really
you'll
be
ever
able
read.
to absorb
Here's
the
why,
message.
of course.
Does that make sense?
True,
Good.
but you
Let's
get my
move on.
drift, right?
So next thing you'll notice about this ad
we're going to teach them is how to write bullets.
And finally, we're going to teach them how to write thank God is good news, because look, you're right.
All of these
writing copy is very, very hard. But when you examine this ad, you'll see that all it really is a series of well-organized answers to questions that the reader probably has, which is another way of doing two things. Number one, overcoming skepticism. Every little bolded question you see that I've circled is essentially a concern that the reader might have. Number two is providing value well in advance of ever asking for a sale on Tuesday. We send them the email this strategy
here's how to write a good headline, right?
So now let's look at the very end of the ad. So as you can see, all the body copy, no spectacular copy in there, no books, no crazy guarantees, no video or whatever. It shows you how to really increase your sales by writing good headlines. Now, still lead generation ad. We want the reader to do something. Notice how masterfully they do this. It's not necessarily the copy itself that's so good. It's the overall approach. The way they phrase the call to action, which of course is to just let us know if you want more information, thus becoming a lead, so we can sell you something, right? The way they phrase it is beautiful. It says, you're probably going to have more questions. Because naturally, this isn't everything we can tell you about the stock and bond business, because if we printed everything we could know, it would take up several volumes. But if you would like a little booklet with more information, and if you would like this ad in a pamphlet form,
and we do that for him on Wednesday or Thursday.
Just write to us and we'll send it right to you.
Consumes that content, whether it's a video or an article or webinar, it doesn't matter.
Beautifully.
His level of trust in us is going up.
From a little firm to having literally millions of customers, his level 3 million leads just from this one ad. But you know what?
And what's interesting is now you can check
just like so much stuff that works today. Just like today, back then, people in marketing and business were obsessed with shiny objects. But not one. There was a former British chef.
Now he's starting to see the light, right? He's like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Now what do I do, right? So now his desire for our stuff, our information,
and David Ogilvy saw this ad, and
that's going up as well. So every time
created a process for it, and he almost created what I believe to be a template.
Now, do you remember what our three objectives
he created a series
we want to have someone create an internal
to promote his own ad
is to increase the trust in us,
still around today,
increase the desire for what we have, and increase their trust in themselves. They need to also believe that they can get the result, because if we fail to do this, they might have that reaction where they say, well, yeah, you can do this because you have magic powers or whatever, but I never could. So we need to help them have this trust in themselves. So what do you think is going to happen when the guy goes out? He reads our headline article,
I've gone through
a video on how to make a good headline, right? David Ogilvy's 5-minute video or whatever, and he's like, wow, I think I'm going to test that out.
And I've created a paint-by-numbers template that you can use to model the advertising style. In addition to that, I'm also giving you the ads themselves to use as a swipe file, and I've created a very detailed video tutorial that walks you through exactly how to use the swipe file to create ads of your own to promote your business, generate massive leads in this forgotten way, while simultaneously building goodwill and rising way above the noise in your marketplace caused by the hype and loudness and general lameness of all of your competition.
And most critically, his belief.
I'm also giving you a case study where I use this exact approach
not because of any trickery,
to create an ad online that got over
you have been the only person in your
registered for a webinar, had wonderful conversion,
so
never
let me show you how
shred of
folks like us actually
if you would like to learn how to use this
incredible
forgotten cerebral to draw in leads and customers now moving like crazy while providing massive value and goodwill and having people actually thank you for the promotions that you put into the marketplace, this tutorial is going to be a tremendous benefit. It's yours absolutely free, and if you want it, just put your name and email address.
He's opted into our list.
Tell me where to send him, and I'll shoot it right over. Once again, my name is Frank Kern. Thanks so much for watching this video,
for you, and it shows you how to make, or it shows you how to use good headlines in your marketing so you can sell more stuff. He goes to that video, he watches it, and at the end of the video, we do something interesting. At the end of the video, we say something, I'll teach you this language pattern in a minute, but we say something like, hey man, if you like this video and you're really into headlines, you're really going to love my deluxe course on how to increase your sales. Here's what it'll do for you, and here's where you can learn more. And so he'll click away from that video, and he'll go to the main sales page, right? And the sales page you see on the screen is just kind of a representation of the sales page, all right? And so he'll either buy or he won't buy, but let's say he doesn't buy, right? Well, the next day or 2 days later, however you want to time it, you're going to send them another video. You're not going to bother him. You're not going to say, why didn't you buy my stuff? You're not going to push anything towards him like everybody that he hates is doing. You're going to be the super cool person that he's going to absolutely love forever and be a raving fan of, because you're going to say, hey, Bob, you know, today I've just created this new video for you, and it picks up where we left off yesterday. In this video, I'm going to show you how to write subheads that get people to devour the rest of your sales letter like never before. I hope you enjoy it. Go here and watch it. He's going to go over to this little page. That's what this little square over here with my lovely face represents on the left, and he's going to watch that video. At the end of the video, you do the same thing. You say, hey, man, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. You know, listen, if you're into the sales copy thing and you really want to sell more stuff, then I really encourage you to go check out this great new product of mine. It's called the XYZ product, and he clicks from the video, goes to the main page, and either he buys or he doesn't. And guess what we do? We do this every single time that corresponds with one of his milestones. So remember, he had 5 milestones: headlines, subheads, opens, bullet points, and guarantee. Every time we're sending him this good content, teaching him how to do one of these milestones, and every time at the end of the content we say, hey man, if you enjoyed this, you're really going to like this product, go over here to the sales page, and then he'll either buy or not, right? And now what do you think this does for sale? Well, remember, our goal really at this stage isn't to convince him to buy. Our goal is for him to convince himself to buy through internal decision triggers, right? So every one of these little boxes you see with my face in the middle of it on the left-hand side of the screen, that represents some content where we're walking him through that milestone. So by the time we've given him all 5 pieces, he has decided for himself that, man, this dude is killer. This guy really, really helps me. This is unbelievable. I'm already getting results. This is great. I can't wait to see what the rest of the system is like. So this really helps us, in a way, overcome the need to have like virtuosity when it comes to creating sales pages and sales letters, because you're right, that really, really is a very difficult skill to master. So at this phase, and a lot of people do this, you could actually just say, hey, here's the order form, enjoy, right? Now, I do encourage you to have better sales copy than that, and I'll show you how to do it a little later on. But let's talk about how to structure what I call milestone content. That is content that's going to actually help them get the results in advance that they want. So I call it the power of 5. So what we want to do is first we want to write down the 5 milestones that your prospect must pass through in order to get the desired result, right? So each milestone that we talked about in relation to increasing conversion is listed here. First, he's got to write a good headline. Second, he's got to write a good subhead. Third, he's got to have a good opening. Fourth, he's got to have good bullets. Fifth, he's got to have a good guarantee. If he does all that stuff, he's probably got a pretty good sales message. His sales conversion will go up, right? So now that we know those 5 milestones, it's time to really diagram the way you're going to present each milestone to your prospect and the way you're going to help him get through it and how you're going to turn this into sales. So this is very, very easy. First thing I want you to do, get a blank piece of paper and write on it so it looks like this. Now, you're not going to write milestone topic at the top. You're going to write the actual milestone topic. So in this case, milestone number 1 for our guy here, it was how to write good headlines, right? So I'm just going to call it Headlines Made Easy. Now, you'll notice that we had 5 milestones. You'll also notice I've got 5 points on a numbered list beneath this title here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to list 5 headline formulas, right? So in my content, I'm just going to give this prospect 5 good headline formulas he can model, and if he goes out and models them, he's probably going to have better conversion to start out with, and he's going to be happy, and he's going to want. I'm delivering goodwill, I'm delivering value, I'm not delivering hype. He's deciding for himself based on the results that my stuff works, right? So I'm just going to write down my headline formulas. Number 1, this is a classic formula, by the way, it's how to yay without boo. For example, yay is the good thing they like, boo is the bad thing they want to avoid. So if we were talking to the fitness niche, we might say something like, how to lose 25% of your body fat and without living on a treadmill, right? Second formula might be X ways to Y and Z. For example, 25 ways to lose 30 pounds in 60 days. Right? Now, I don't know if that's an accurate thing. I don't know if you could actually do that in 60 days, but I'm just giving you examples kind of randomly generated, right? The third one, of course, is a direct copy from our beloved Louis Engel, the man who changed advertising history by discovering that thing that David Ogilvy mastered, which I taught you in the last video, and that is the headline formula of what everyone ought to know about X, right? What everyone ought to know about losing weight over 40. Okay? The fourth one is another classic, who else wants to X? Who else wants to get in the best shape of their life after 50? Okay, and the fifth one is, of course, the classic how-to, which David Ogilvy really made masterfully when he created his ad for Ogilvy and Mather entitled How to Create Advertising That Sells. This is one of my favorite headlines, simply how to do the cool thing you want to do, right? So regardless of the content, you want to make it pretty good, but you don't want to bog him down. You just want to give him some stuff that he can consume in maximum 20 minutes or something and instantly grasp that he can do it, right? So here's the thing about making this stuff actually sell, and this is important. The content is never about the content itself. We're not trying to show off here. Instead, we need to understand the content is always about the prospect and, most importantly, his desired result. And because of this, and with this in mind, we need to frame this content for sales. So if we kind of diagram it, it's really a three-step process. We frame the content with an introduction, then we deliver the content itself, and then we pitch, right? So let's talk about framing first. The easy way to frame is a simple script. You say, today I'm giving you blank, and then we have the magic words, so you can blank, right? So let me illustrate. Today I'm giving you 5 battle-tested headline formulas you can use. So that's the introduction to the content, and now we're going to frame it and show its benefit to the reader, like this. So you can increase your conversion and ultimately make more sales. The magic words there, by the way, are so you can. It is, today I'm giving you this, so you can get the big benefit you're after, right? So it's a pretty simple formula. So that's the easy way. Now the next phase is just to deliver your content, right? So in this case, I would just explain the 5 headline formulas and say, here you go, enjoy. Now the final phase of this is to pitch, right? So it's important to remember the way this works, right? So we're not going to pitch and talk about how awesome we are and talk about how great our product is. If you recall, what we're doing right now is we're giving them some really cool content that's going to get them through one of their milestones, and then that content is going to make them have the internal decision that, hey, I like this, I want more of this stuff. So they're going to click from there and go to our main sales page, right? So essentially we're pre-selling it. The sales page itself does the actual selling. The purpose of what we're doing right now is to make them have that internal decision trigger that, yeah, I want this stuff. That's what makes the sales page work so well. We're essentially pre-selling them. Then, of course, that leads to money. So here specifically is how to transition into the pitch, right? It's something I like to use that I call the triple fact transition, and this comes from NLP. It's essentially this NLP axiom that says if the first 2 facts are obviously true in a statement, then the third fact that you tell someone must be true as well. That's the way the brain perceives it, right? So if you tell someone 2 obvious facts, then you immediately state a third statement, the brain is more inclined to believe that the third statement is true. Now, clearly this isn't something that would really work if you abused it, right? So if I said, we're on the planet Earth, and it is today, and you're immediately going to be picked up by a spaceship and flown to Never Never Land. Like, no one's going to believe that. So you can't really abuse this. You're going to use this instead to help someone make a decision that they're already prone to make, which is, hey, I like this person and I want more of this stuff, right? So let me show you how to do it. The 3 facts I like to use are, number 1, you're online, right? Because obviously they're online. Number 2, I like to state that you're watching this video or you're reading this article or something else, because obviously that's true. And the third is I like to state, and you know XYZ. And it's usually not, and you know that I'm great. It is, and you know that you really want this result we've been talking about, right? That simply compounds the desire. Everything else we've done up to this point can simply do the rest of the work. So I'm not needing to do any heavy lifting here. So let me show you specifically how I would do it. I'll give you an example. I'd say, you're online, you're watching this video, and you know you can dramatically increase making a few simple changes in your business. So what I've done right there is I've just transitioned into the pitch. It's a nice, smooth, hype-free way with a subtle bit of NLP in it to transition into the pitch. So now what do? Well, it's time to make the actual pitch. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you 3 different pitch patterns. You don't have to use all 3. You can just choose one of them, right? So the first one is where you'd say, that's why you're going to love XYZ, and XYZ is your product name. You give a brief description and then a call to action. So we would say it like this. So you're online, you're watching this video, and you know that a few simple exercises can really transform your body into the best shape of your life. And that's why you're going to love my Get Fit Fast program. It's a 12-week complete transformational program that literally takes you by the hand and walks you step by step into getting fit fast without working yourself into a frenzy. If this sounds good to you, simply click the video below this click the button below this video to find out more. Right? So it's very, very simple. The next pattern is the if you thought this was helpful pattern. It goes like this. And if you thought this video was helpful, you're really going to like XYZ. Then you do the same thing. You give a brief description and a quick call to action. The call to action is never to buy it. It's never to do anything hypey. It's just to go find out more, right? We're just having them take little baby steps towards yes. The final pattern is the most people pattern. It goes like this. Most people who are serious about growing their business take a look at XYZ. Then again, you just, actually, incidentally, that has a little bit of an embedded command, which is take a look at XYZ, right? From an NLP perspective, for all you NLP lovers out there. And at the end of it, of course, you give the brief description and the call to action. So creating this massive goodwill and creating these internal decision triggers is not only easy, it's also tremendously beneficial to your marketplace. This is the kind of thing that your prospects really are going to love. This is the kind of thing that's going to make your relationship with them thrive. This is the kind of thing that's going to make them say, you know what, I like this guy. I want to do business with this guy. This person can help me get the results that I want. I believe in this. This is good. And why? Not because of hype, not because of some unbelievable sales jujitsu that everyone else is trying to do, but because of plain old common sense. This worked for years and generations, right? That for some reason has been abandoned in favor of hype and overinflated promises. Well, let's let everybody else do that, right? Let's talk about how we can really get money for you. So what's really cool about this and the way it can really help you increase sales is everything I just showed you, well, that was just around that one milestone of headlines. But in this example, remember, we created this content and we used that pitch patterns and those transition patterns and that framing pattern I taught you, and we said, hey, enjoy this content, and if you like this, check out this sales page, right? Some of the folks bought. Well, what about the ones who didn't? Well, we have 4 more to go. We can give them the subheads and do the same thing, send them to the sales page. We can give them the content about opens, we can give them the content about bullets, and we can give them the content about guarantees. That's 5 different angles we can take right there just instantly within the first little period of their relationship with you to get massive goodwill with them, to deliver massive value to them, to cause you to be positioned as a trusted friend and advisor. And of course, every single one of these 5 things helps you sell because they have that pitch transition, right? And all of that leads to more sales for you when you do this properly. And look, this is a pretty long video. This is a little bit longer than I anticipated in making it, but you know what? I really wanted to make something useful for you. I didn't want to just give you that useful but incomplete stuff that people talk about. I really wanted you to have everything you could to utilize this one strategy today. You've watched this, you've been with me for a while, and you know that this approach is the one for long-term success. And it's also the one for very, very quick success if you apply it to the right marketplace. And we demonstrated that, right? I showed you in the last video how that one ad using that massive goodwill approach caused Louis Engel to blow Merrill Lynch up into a major global powerhouse. And then I showed you how David Ogilvy perfected and refined Louis Engel's approach with his advertising style. And I gave you the swipe file and gave you the tutorial on that. And then today, I talked about how to take that massive amount of subscribers you're getting from using that goodwill methodology and further deliver value to these people to cause them to decide that you're awesome and to cause them to want to do business with you instead of you having to be pushy like everybody else. And if you have enjoyed this, and if this approach resonates with you, and if you can see yourself really getting results from this right now, then you're really going to enjoy and benefit from a class that I have created called Mass Conversion. Now, this class is not available yet, but I will tell you how it works, and I'll give you an opportunity to get an early bird notification of when it's available for you to enroll in. Essentially, Mass Conversion shows you 3 ways to completely dominate a market and set yourself up for long-term and fast profitability. So the first thing we do is, the first pillar of this, is I show you how to build a responsive list of people who think you're awesome. So if you remember the first video in the series where I showed you the Lewis Angle ad and then I walked you through the David Ogilvy approach and I gave you my recent case study of how I did it and it converted so well, if you liked that, you need to know that's just a drop in the bucket of everything that you can do. If I showed you everything, these videos would be like 10 years long, you know. But in Mass Conversion, I take the most powerful things that I know that I've been doing for 15 straight years, the most powerful things that have helped me personally sell over $50 million worth of products and services of my own and of that for my private clients. And I show you how to utilize these based on what's working right now, based on things that have fundamentally been proven sound for generations and for decades, things that have made people literally billions of dollars in sales. We're going to use those same approaches, but we're going to apply them online, and we're going to help you build a responsive list of people who really, really like you. Now, what do we do with those folks? Well, as you learn in today's video, there's a way that you can systematically and predict them, and predictably rather, convert them into customers, right? And you can do so quickly. For example, the example I just gave you today, gosh, if you gave them all 5 pieces of that milestone content, that's just a week it would take to deliver that automatically, of course, on autopilot. I show you how to do that in Mass Conversion. But gosh, think of how many sales you would get if you deployed that just in your first week after them opting in. But guess what? That's just one method. There are many other methods I'm going to show you to convert subscribers into customers. And again, I can't stress this enough. We're going to do it in a way that's cool, right? And finally, once we have these customers, I'm going to show you how to systematically and predictably convert them into long-term, high-ticket repeat buyers. And I'm going to show you how to do all of these things. We're going to wrap all of this training up around 4 principles that are going to guide us. Number 1 is that we always provide value to people. Every promotion that you're going to make is going to be something that the prospect and the customer perceive to be a thing of value in and of itself. Like right now you're watching this video, and you've watched this video for God knows how long today, because it's been a long one, right? Why are you doing that? Because this is valuable to you. Well, obviously this is also part of a promotion, right? Well, I want to show you how to have the same effect in your business, how every promotion and every advertisement is perceived to be something of value in and of itself. When you do that, you create massive goodwill among your list, among your marketplace, among your subscribers, and among your community. I believe that our income is directly proportional to the amount of goodwill that we have. As a matter of fact, if we were to go to sell our business today, that would be one of the factors that would determine the price. How much goodwill does that business have? Well, when you do your marketing and you do your selling in the way that I'm talking about today, you create massive goodwill, significantly more perhaps than anybody in your marketplace. Why? Because you're generating trust in your marketplace by actually helping them. It's this newfound concept called demonstrate you can help them by actually helping them. I say joke with it's a newfound concept, but really your competition isn't doing this. All they're doing is yelling, right? And finally, when we do all of these things in the right sequence, they cause you to be perceived as a market position that has the highest monetary compensation, and that is the position of celebrity authority. When you position yourself as a celebrity authority in your marketplace, that is when you can command the highest fees. That is when you have the highest conversion. That's when you have the longest waiting list to buy your things. That's when you have the biggest floods of people signing up for your opt-in list. That's when your events are full. That's when your webinars are oversold and people can't even get on. That's when everything sort of snowballs and has a velocity and builds up this momentum that really, really carries through in the form of more subscribers, more sales, more customers, more goodwill. Once you reach all of that, it really has such a snowball effect, it's almost impossible to turn off, which is exactly what we want to do. I want to help you build a critical mass in your marketing where it gets so big so quickly not just from hype, not from pressure, but from really delivering this goodwill and creating value, that it's almost impossible for you to go backwards. That you have more and more people, because they're hearing about you from others, they're seeing your content, they're amazed by you, and they just want to attach themselves to you and become your customer and have more of what you have to offer. That's the outcome that I want to help you achieve and teach you to achieve through this class. So essentially what we have at the end of this class is I will have taught you how to build a complete A to Z sales and marketing system in 35 days or less. The class is 35 days long. That's why I say this, and this is taught by me personally live. What I mean by this is every week I deliver a module to you, and that module is videos, just like this one, but it's broken down. They're not as long. I chunk them down into little 15-minute pieces for you, and I show you how to do a thing that week. I show you how to do one of those really critical things that we need to do, and then later in that week I get on the phone with you and the rest of your classmates, and I just make myself available to answer any and all questions you might have. So if you need me to review something, if you want to bounce some headline ideas off of me, if you want me to check out an opt-in page, it doesn't matter, right? Whatever it is you need, I make myself available for you there live during the class every single week. And because of this, this class has very limited enrollment. Now, obviously, if I've sold thousands of seats to this thing, there's no way I could do a good job on the live Q&A, right? Because there would just simply be too many people. So please understand, this isn't some scarcity tactic. It's not shenanigans. It is my desire to do a good job and make myself available to you that is causing this class to be very limited in its enrollment. Now, like I said, you can't register for it right now. It's not currently for sale, but it will be open very soon, and I anticipate that it will sell out very quickly because there's a huge pent-up demand for this type of stuff in the marketplace, especially for me. I haven't done a major promotion in 4 years, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of past customers who've been patiently waiting, when's the next training coming out? Well, that day has come, right? So if you would like to jump ahead of the line and be notified well in advance of the official release and be able to find out more about the class and enroll in it if you choose to without any pressure and without having to worry about the timer counting down to 0 or have it selling out, then go ahead and opt into the early bird list. If you're watching this video, you're probably already on my list, so you're just going to be on a different segment of my list. No one else is getting your email address or anything like that, and of course I certainly won't hassle you, right? But what I can promise you is that you will get early notification well in advance of when this class is open for public enrollment, therefore guaranteeing you against missing out, right? So if all of that sounds good to you, then go ahead, hop on the early bird list, and I'll be in touch with you shortly. If you don't want to get on the early bird list, that's totally fine. I still have another video for you. In that video, I'm going to show you what to do next now that we've got these subscribers and now that we've built massive goodwill with these guys and we've delivered some of these results in advance doing what I've shown you how to do. What do we do next? Because we know, logically, not all of them are going to buy, right? I mean, gosh, if the majority of your subscribers bought, they would probably erect a solid gold statue of you in the Direct Response Marketing Hall of Fame. So let's just say only 10% of them buy. Well, gosh, that's 90% of the people who still are interested. They still like you. There's got to be another way to reach them, right? There's got to be another way to demonstrate that value and turn them into customers. Well, you know what? You're right. There is another way to do it, and I'm going to show you how to do it in our next video. So, man, you've been with me a long time today. I really appreciate your commitment to your business that you have shown by paying this close attention to this video for so long, and I wish you the best of luck, and no matter what you decide to do, if you decide to join this class or not, it's irrelevant to me in terms of my wish for you to have success and happiness in your business. Thank you so much for your attention today. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. If you think it's worthy of other folks' attention, please feel free to tell other people about it. I'd love to spread this message as far as I can. Thanks so much again for your attention today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.